People that use Tinder. Got any good bad hookup stories? NSFW. I totally suck at Tinder. Met a girl for a one night stand. 4 months later. We're getting on a plane to go on holiday together. F-king amateur. Holiday? F-king casual. I once F-ked a girl from a Cupid. 4 years later we own a house and have cats. Not me but a friend of mine hooked up with the morning weather girl for the local news station thanks to Tinder. Was IT hot? Currently reading this thread while waiting to meet some girl from Tinder. Based on some of these responses I will either have a great time or she'll be nothing like her pictures. I will update later if anyone cares. Edit. And she never showed up. Edit 2. Holy shit, thanks for the gold. And for anyone who cares, she sent me a message late last night apologizing, but I just said K and left it at that. Hey. I'm looking to make $40 today. Do you think that's something you could help me with? UHH. No thanks. I could get you $10 of the way there. My buddy used it. Found a girl. They've been dating since around Easter. They have a totally normal relationship. Except that we call her Tinder girl. The proper term is Tinderella. Every girl on Tinder just wants me to follow their Instagram. F-king pointless. Every girl loves to eat and loves to travel and loves family and friends, and sometimes she loves good scotch or whiskey. I met up with a girl so we could watch Frozen together. We actually watched Frozen together. She was disappointed and I was mesmerized. I'd never seen that shit before. Got talking to a girl on there. We met up for drinks and it turned out to be the best date I've ever been on. We just talked all night and ended with a kiss. I walked her home and then we texted each other till we both fell asleep. It was like being 16 again or something. The next time I saw her I got a blowjob whilst we watched Titanic. We dated for 2 months or so and she was great. As was the SX. We wanted different things relationship wise, so things didn't last long, but absolutely no regrets on my part. God bless Tinder, I say. Looks like the ship wasn't the only thing that went down. Man. Reading all these stories really makes me wanna try Tinder just for the experience. I got Tinder about a month ago and met with my first live one last week. We had actually been messaging for about a week or two. Pretty different schedules to blame. But we ended up meeting up for a concert, which led to drinks, which led to me inviting him back to my house, which led to SX. The SX lasted F-king forever, and not in a good way. He was one of those drunks who just can't F-king come, and instead of admitting defeat just keeps pounding and pounding. Gentlemen. This is not desirable. Shit hurts after not too long. There is chafing involved. In the end I was just so over it that I rolled over and went to sleep. Sorry. Dude. I'm giving him another chance this weekend with hopefully less alcohol, so we'll see. I'll give it a 5/10. Had SX. Didn't die. Willing to try one more time. Had SX. Didn't die. Willing to try it one more time. Finally something I can answer. I've met 6 girls since I downloaded the app in January. Most have been pretty negative, so it never got past conversation. Then I lost weight. I've experienced 2 firsts in my life thus far. 1. I've had SX on a beach at night. Complete with sticks poking my ass. 2. My friend F-ked this stripper with half a shaved head and facial tattoos. She told him that she had been smoking meth all morning and that she had a boyfriend. We later found out that she's also pregnant. My friend said it was the best SX he's ever had in his entire life. I've had Tinder for 16 months and have still yet to get a message. Not even from spam bots. Moved to Seattle for the summer. Used Tinder to meet people. I've made some damn good friends so far. But I don't think that's using Tinder the right way. My buddy just told me his story last week. Apparently he had it for a while and got nothing. His first hookup was some really cute girl, showed me pics, that was somehow in the sports industry. She got them special access to a game, then they went to a party at somebody's uber expensive apartment, rooftop garden in Nick. In the millions. He got a BJ in the bathroom. He is not the guy to brag. But it was over the top enough that he had to share the story. I recently started using Tinder and happened to get pretty damn lucky with the first girl I actually met up with. We met and got ice cream and did some making out and stuff the first time. And again another time. But the third time was quite a different story. She and I met at a bar that I usually go to on Wednesday nights. My friends work there and they have a great special called group therapy. She ended up being pretty drunk that night, which is unusual for her. And we started fooling around after heading to her apartment. At some point she told me that she was pretty inexperienced and wanted a good story if we were going to hook up. Somehow we ended up going to a lake in the middle of campus and found a secluded spot where we FK'd for almost 2 hours. Inexperience apparently did little to affect her enthusiasm. And it did end up being a damn good story. Plan on seeing her again tonight equals. Edit. Done bars. I met a girl and we met up for drinks. We talked for a while and eventually ended up going to a late lunch. We texted for a couple days and ended up going out again. And she took me back to her place. Easily one of the best times of my life. She's a sweet girl. I hope to see her again soon when our schedule matches up again. We met up for drinks. Eventually ended up going to a late lunch. What time did you start drinking? I met this girl on Tinder who works part-time nearby my apartment. She's really hot and stops by my place on her way home just to have sex and then she leaves. It's awesome. I went out to get drinks with a girl. I proceeded to admit that I was completely broke and we would have to split the drinks. She not only paid for those drinks, but then paid for the food we later ate. More drinks. And gave me a quality BJ at the end of the night. Thanks. Tinder. Got drunk. Liked everyone. Went to sleep. Woke up. 0 matches. Deleted it in a fit of hungover anger. I am SI and I know it. And ain't no Fkin up gonna tell me otherwise. Fkin a man. I was reluctant to go when she asked me out cause I'd never met anyone from online before. We ended up hooking up and all that. Which was nice. But on my ride home she called me. Not once. Not twice. But thrice. Then she texted me. I fell asleep and woke up with 7 text messages and quite a few Snapchats from her. I attempted to break it off nicely and politely inform her I wasn't looking to date or anything. But she wasn't really having it. I ended up insulting her until she said I was the biggest dick alive and stopped texting me. 3/10. Would probably still do it again. At least she complimented your dick. I matched up with a 40-year-old recently single female, and me in my mid-20s. We met up at a bar. Had a drink and ended up making out in the parking lot. A few nights later we met up at her place and watched a movie. Of course. We didn't really watch the movie. She gave the best blowjob I've ever had in my life and was a squirter. So. Thanks Tinder. Nice. And was a squirter. Jesus take the wheel. Installed app. Swiped maybe 10 times. Found my ex-girlfriend. Deleted app. Edit. I really appreciate the upvotes guys. I've been on Reddit for 2 years and I've already doubled my total karma. I don't comment much. I decided to try it after a thing with a girl I thought I was in love with ended up not working out. Found a very beautiful girl on the app and she was extremely nice and interesting when I met her. The more I got to know her the bitchier she got, but I still found her wildly attractive, so I decided to keep on trying to hook up with her. One day while cooking dinner with she explicitly told me that she is a prude and that hand holding, cuddling, kissing, and sex is only for someone she feels is extremely special to her. She is now subletting my apartment for the summer. Still trying. During university last year me and my buddies downloaded Tinder. I swiped right non-stop for a weekend and got about 300 matches and messaged all the attractive ones with various pickup lines. I had 2 one-night stands as a result of this, and coincidentally it was the same line that worked on both. Sit on my face and I'll eat my way to your heart. 3. This is how you use Tinder. I'm an identical twin. My brother was visiting me at school and I invited a girl I met on Tinder over. He doesn't use Tinder, but obviously didn't want to be alone for the night, so I used the app to get him a girl too. She thought he was me the entire time, all the way up until she left the next morning. Right before she left, she asked my brother a question about my rugby team that he just couldn't answer. I got some angry messages afterwards. Edit. My brother and the girl are Redditors too. I messaged this Indian girl late one night and ended up going to her place at around 6 AM. She lived on the first floor of some dorms in a college across town. We got down to business immediately and slept after. She seemed pretty cool. I woke up naked with a tight elastic band around my ankles, basically tied up my ankles. She had hidden my clothes. She insisted on spending the day together. But to make sure I didn't run away, she didn't tell me where my clothes were. So we're sitting around. I'm still naked after 3 hours. She's fully clothed now and asking me all about myself. To make things even stranger, she wrote down each of my answers to her questions. I waited until she left to use the bathroom. Then I searched the entire dorm for my clothes. I found them in the refrigerator in the vegetable drawer. I got dressed so damn quick and jumped out of the window. Thanks, Reddit. I just downloaded Tinder. Never knew what this was before. Also, last week I recommended the name Tinder to my pregnant best friend as a boy's name. I should probably retract that suggestion now. You should probably also stop giving baby name suggestions. Fast forward 9 months. Let's all welcome Tinder Grinder Johnson to the world. Tinder isn't a real name. Coming from a kindergarten teacher, please make them name their kid something real. None of that Meadow Tinder Malelia Smith shit. I matched with an extremely attractive girl at college who invited me clubbing a few days before I was to go clubbing. However, Tinder came up in a conversation and we ended up pulling out our phones and talking about our matches. One guy recognized the girl. She's one of many who mess with guys trying to hook up. Bitch. She's one of many who mess with guys trying to hook up. Don't quite understand. Care to extrapolate? This guy sent me a dick pic. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. He was soft. It was pointed down. It was multicolored and there were like chunks missing. He had never trimmed. He was standing in front of a mirror with his pants down. It was a train wreck that we couldn't turn away from. Oh, I got one. So I matched up with this girl. Really cute. I was kinda addicted to her. I'll admit it, and we stopped talking. Then like 2 months later she texts me randomly and we start talking. She turns out to be really awesome, but we hadn't had the chance to meet up yet because of a slight distance issue. 1 week out of a lucky event I came across, I had a nice condo to myself and I told her in passing. I was joking around that she should come over and drink with me and to bring her friends too. She ended up coming over but her friends bailed. So we're drinking and having a good time when all of a sudden we're making out. One thing led to another. Got my first blowjob and I ate her out. All in all, fantastic night. She had an amazing ass. And we're still good friends. God bless Tinder. I only got 1 match with this girl who is obviously out of my league. I'm decent looking for a chubby guy and so I messaged her. But unfortunately, it went nowhere. She stopped responding to my messages and I didn't bother trying to get her to answer. Cause I didn't want to come across like a creep and end up on our cringe epics. I guess Tinder just sucks in the area that I live in. Yeah. Let's go with that. It seems like most of the stories being posted boast fairly positive outcomes. I unfortunately have a bad one. One of my friends started using Tinder after coming home from college this summer. She would tell me about the weird conversations she sometimes had with guys who were looking to hook up. She was looking to meet guys but not necessarily hook up. She met up with one guy who got weird when she wouldn't let him get past second base. After that she met up with a second guy who she seemed to really like and he ended up upping her. I know people who have had success with Tinder as well. But there are bad people on both sides and it's something you should be careful with. Edit. Throwing in a fair warning as to the direction of the story at the top. Just cause a few people have commented on the sudden darkness of it. And it wasn't my intention to spring anything on anyone who wasn't prepared for it. Went on a date with a girl that ended up back at my apartment. The heavy stuff starts. And I find out she's on her period. FCK. So, like any gentleman does on the first date, I suggest shower sex. She's down. Hell yeah. Shower sex on the first date. Fast forward a couple weeks. And she develops feelings which aren't mutual and puts the brakes on. And we quit talking for a while. Out of nowhere she suggests a hike in a nearby state park. Which I later found out was a date designed to make sure sex didn't happen. We ended up hooking up about 100 yards off the hiking trail back in the woods. The real kicker. I picked a wood tick off of her left butt cheek, like. It had actually bitten down and clamped on. Mid-sex and to this day she has no idea. I've only met and hooked up with one person off Tinder even though I have 600 plus matches and had the app for a couple of months. I came over to his apartment and we decided to watch Castaway. Our personalities were really compatible and we made each other laugh and the chemistry was amazing. So the sex was f***ing awesome. Afterwards, we just talked about religion, spirituality, our past relationships, and more deep shit like that until it was time for him to go to work at 6 AM. I felt like I've always known him. However, I am moving to another state on Saturday so I don't think a relationship could form. Such is life. God is number one in my life. Swipes left. My friend met her now boyfriend on Tinder. I'm happy for her. I got a couple decent hookups. Then got bored with it. I also got a few invites to go over people's houses and watch movies. I wonder what I missed on those nights. Sex. You missed sex. Currently dating a girl I met on there. Went into it not really expecting anything. Up until then I had similar Tinder experiences as others in this thread have described. Also, my brother tells me he's recently had success using it to hook up. So apparently it works out alright sometimes. My friend asked a girl if he could paint her green and spanked her like a disobedient cucumber. She said he'll bring the pickle if you bring the dickle and he got laid. Went the wrong way on his way back and ended up on the coast hours away from home, but that's another story. Yes. Cute little South African girl. We both found it funny that she looked quite a bit like Yolandi Visser. Initially we just hung out. Smoked shisha. Played some Pokemon. Shot the shitty and whatnot. It ended with us half dressed in the backseat of my car with our feet up and smoking darts in a rural parking lot. All in all a great time. We don't talk as much anymore but we're still friends. You talking about chicken Tinders. So I was browsing my apps one Saturday when I say FCK it and installed Tinder. Logged in and I started to see some familiar faces since I live in a relatively small town. I liked a few pictures and after some days I got a match. It was her. My longtime crush from high school. Now prettier than ever. She messaged me to say hi and we ended up chatting for a couple of days. We exchange numbers and decide to meet at the local bar to talk about our lives and have a good laugh about everything that has happened over the course of the past years. I confess to her that I was totally in love back in high school and she says that it was really obvious and that all I needed to do was make a move. We end up at my place having the most passionate night ever. We have been happily married for 19 years now. Yep. Tinder was right next to Snake. I was called a cougar by someone I was talking to on Tinder. I'm 24. Definitely made me feel f***ing old. Jesus, this thread is raining gold. Installed Tinder for fun. I wasn't looking for a relationship or hookups. Even told my best friend I didn't want a relationship for a while. Just enjoying my time as a single lady. Then I met a guy. He was funny. We liked the same things. Same weird sense of humor. You know the thing. I was happy. Because making new friends is very hard for me. One day I tell him I'm bored. And he says he is too. So we should be bored together. How smooth. Since he only lives an hour away. I thought, why not? We had a fun day. And another one. And another one. And another one. Each day we saw each other. We fell deeper and deeper in love. He now is my so-and. Since his parents kicked him out. He's living with me now. The circumstances may work against us. But I have never been so happy in my life. TLDR, didn't want a relationship. Tinder brought me the love of my life.